With almost 500,000 customers and over $1 trillion of secure payments, Bill isn't new to intelligent finance. It's the proven way to simplify bill pay and maximize cash flow. Want to learn more? Visit Bill.com/proven for a special offer.
When you think about meal kit companies, what do you see? Probably long, complicated recipes and subscriptions you can't escape. But with the new Blue Apron, we're doing meal delivery differently. No subscription needed. Faster, easier meals. And the same dedication to quality we've always had. Shop 100+ meals at blueapron.com. Get 50% off your first 2 orders with code APRON50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
We need to keep kids safe online, but some special interests are sending policymakers in the wrong direction, pushing the so-called App Store Accountability Act, demanding government ID from all users just to download an app, replacing parents' judgment with government mandates. It doesn't even stand up in court. A better bipartisan bill, the Parents Over Platforms Act, would put parents in the driver's seat, empowering parents and businesses to keep kids safe without drowning all of us in red tape. Tell Congress to get it done right and put parents over platforms.
Paid for by ACT, the App Association.
I don't believe the Earth is flat. That's not me.
Eavesdroppin.
Hello there, Michelle.
Hello, la, la, la. Hello.
That was like to the tune of The Baby Elephant, wasn't it?
I was going to say, you have quite a flexible tongue. I can't do any of the tongue things. I can't go. No.
You can't.
No, I cannot.
Try it again. Oh dear.
It's a very lazy tongue.
This makes for good podcasting. A lazy tongue.
A lazy tongue.
And a podcaster. Not sure you should be in that job, Michelle.
Oh, thank you very much.
You need to do some tongue exercises.
Well, I don't think so. Well, I can do side to side. I can't twist the tongue. I can't do the funnel.
That's a genetic thing.
Yes, I can't do any of that. And I can't do a Cardi B. Like, that's with the lips.
Yeah, you can. You did one on one of our jingles.
I know, but it was more a lip one than a tongue one.
Oh, she does the tongue. I don't know Cardi B, so I don't know what she does. Is it
kind of like that? I cannot do that. Wow.
Yeah, well, it takes years of practice. And welcome to the podcast. It's not about tongues. It's not about tongue ability even. What is it about, Michelle?
Real life.
True crime.
Supernatural. That was a New Zealand accent. And, by the way, I'm your host, Michelle.
Oh, yes. You're Michelle and I'm Geordie. Welcome, welcome. We welcome all the eavesdropping, all the flapping of the ears. Flap, flap, flap. That's what you're doing, listening in.
And we do welcome everyone, including New Zealanders, and French people.
And French people. What a bitch. I love the French.
Oh, you do?
I love all people, in fact. I don't have a particular type of people that I don't like. I don't like rude people, Michelle.
Oh, oh my God. I feel that was very pointed. Actually, I don't like people. I'm not a people person.
You don't like people?
No, I like people. I do like people. I'm just not really a people person.
What do you mean? I think you are.
No, I don't think I am. I think I'm an extroverted introvert.
So you mean other people? People who aren't in your circle?
I don't know who I mean. I don't know. I need this cup of tea right now. Let's move on.
Get in, yeah. All right. She's confused. Have you been watching any television recently, Michelle? It seems to be the season for it here in the Northern Hemisphere.
Well, I will say February is always a cozy down month because there's nothing else to do. It's blizzarding right now. We've had avalanches.
Oh, here we go. Weather report. You can always guarantee Michelle will give you a weather report for Switzerland. Thank you.
If I step out now, the snow will be above knee high.
Oh, wow.
If I had knee high boots, they still wouldn't cut it right now. So what else do? You flip on the telly and you watch.
Flick it on.
Either watch the Olympics for those who were interested. I don't know if you were interested.
Nah.
Oh, there's been controversies.
Has there?
Canada told Sweden to fuck off. In the curling of all things.
Oh my God, it got heated on the curling rink. Do you remember when we went curling?
Yes, I do. It was very fun.
I fell over again before even getting into the curling rink.
I know.
My knees are shot.
Oh, God. I actually think the people we went to the curling rink with were also the people whose birthday it was, where you also had a tumble.
I fell.
They are bad for your knee health. Bad for your knee health.
I haven't fallen since seeing them, thank God. But
Okay.
I will be extra careful whenever I'm near them. No more heels.
Well, aside from the, as you say, boring Olympics, I love it. Biathlon all the way.
Boring.
No, it's fantastic.
Is that the one when they're shooting and running and swimming?
They don't swim, but yes, they're shooting and they're running and skiing and doing all the stuff.
Weird.
I do think the two-man luge is a bit weird, where they're like two men, one on top of each other in the luge.
What's a luge? Sexual position?
No. Oh, my God.
Two men on top of each
It's
other?
the one where you go down that little chute, the funnel, the
Oh,
bobsled.
that sounds like fun, actually. That sounds like a centre park.
Yes, it does, but not at these speeds. So anyway, aside from the Olympic IAs, I've been dragged into MAFS Australia. Fuck me.
All right.
What a time suck. But it is, as always, an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, God.
Already. They've got their typecasts. There's the bitch. There's the pretty one.
The geeky one. There's always a geeky one.
Yes, and she's not having...
Mildly autistic.
Oh, I don't know about that. But yeah, the geeky one, she is not having a good time. And I feel really bad.
It's bad, isn't it? They seem to enjoy making their lives miserable for our entertainment. And I don't know if I want to be in on that.
No, but at the beginning, you actually are rooting for all of them because it seems like the experts did a great job. Everyone's so happy. And then it all...
They are so clueless.
I know.
How much do they really do? They're reading everything.
Well, people do go on there for love. And obviously, way back in the day, I applied, but not when it was this format. It was when they still had a fucking priest on there.
A priest?
Yes, back on the very first series of Married at First
There was a
Sight.
priest?
Yes. and you had to like go through all these religious things.
Really?
The Aussies changed the format. They made it an actual reality show that could be successful with dinner parties and outfits and all that stuff. It wasn't like
Bitching.
that. Bitching.
Screaming, crying.
Jen's into it. Eavesdropper Steph's watching. You know, everyone's in on it, but
right.
it is car crash telly. What have you got? What have you been watching?
It'll be on here in the UK shortly unless you've got a VPN. Well, I'm not watching anything. Apart from, I went to the cinema on Sunday with my daughter and my friend Becca Bourne.
Oh, lovely.
And we saw Wuthering Heights.
Oh, how was it?
Emerald Fennell. I didn't have high hopes, and I'll tell you why. It's the same woman that made Saltburn, that film that I screamed through.
Yes.
Because it was so horrifying.
Yes.
With all its weird, sexy things.
Cum water.
No,
bath
you don't
water.
have to say.
You
You don't have to say.
You have to.
Going back to Wuthering Heights, what have I got to say about Wuthering Heights? Well, it's nothing to do with the Kate Bush song, as you know. If you've read the book, you might be a bit confused because I think they fucked with the story somewhat.
Oh.
I know for a fact that there was an older brother. I read a comic book version, like a graphic novel version, back when I was about 10 or 11. Found it in the library. Loved it. And this is before I heard the Kate Bush song, because obviously I'm a massive Kate Bush fan. They've kind of melded the characters a little. Like the father plays both brother and himself, and he lives a lot longer than he should. The whole love story thing is quite different. Do you know what? I'm going to expand on it over on Patreon. How about that? I'll talk to you about it more on Patreon, and our patrons can listen to what I think about Wuthering Heights.
2 questions, though. Obviously, as you said, you can expand more.
2 Aussies in the main role.
Who are they?
One with a good accent. The other one occasionally slipped out. You brute! Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi.
She's quite a bit older than him.
Yeah.
Right, 2 questions. First of all, is it a wreck or an anti-wreck?
Yeah, I'd go see it. Yeah, for sure. It looks great. It's beautiful to look at.
Second question.
Luckily, no horror show scenes like in Saltburn. I was concerned because I was with my 15-year-old daughter, so
Right.
bracing myself.
Yes. Second question. Do you think they should fuck with classic novels like that?
Yeah, why not? I mean, if you're making a good stand-up on its own film, why not? Why not? Go for it.
Yeah.
If it's shit, we'll tell you.
Yeah. It's just so heartbreaking, though, when people have spent millions making a shit film.
Yeah, well, don't do that. Make sure.
But they don't know.
Make sure you put all your heart and soul into
They
it.
don't know they're making a shit film at the time because nobody knows they're making shit anything until after it's done, I guess.
The remake of a film, though, I mean, I don't know about novels. You can do as many versions of something as you like. I don't mind a reinterpretation, but remaking a film, for example, Nicolas Cage's Wicker Man, which I refused to watch because I absolutely love the original film. It's one of my favourites. And there's also another film that I've saved to watch later. I heard about this film called The Beguiled, which is about a man who turns up in an all-girls school. Like, I think he's war-torn. It's a period film.
Okay.
I heard about it. I Googled it. I saw it stars Nicole Kidman and Colin Farrell. Mm-hmm. But then a free one popped up and it's got Clint Eastwood in it. And I think that's the original. So I'm going to go there first. I'm going to watch that one.
Obviously, it's because it's Clint.
It's got Clint.
You've got to go there first.
You got to go there with Clint.
Of course.
I hope he's still okay since the last time we talked about him.
Oh, don't.
You okay, Clint? You all right?
Just check in with us. We do care.
Just send us a little message that you're doing okay.
And now we can all get some sleep.
It's a Clayton's moment.
The drink you're having and not having a drink. Good on you, Tomo.
I've got a couple of other recommendations from other people. A lot of people are talking about Lost Prophets with, I think, Mackenzie Crook, but I think he's only in it very small, like he's got a small part. A lot of people telling me it's great. A lot of people telling me they want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. It is already out here in the UK.
Okay.
And another recommendation from Nicholas Bourne is a show called Waiting for the Out. He says it's quite an emotional roller coaster. I think it's made by the same people who made Adolescence, BBC programme, possibly.
Well, by the same people who made Adolescence, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the remake of Lord of the Flies. Is it the same thing?
No.
That Nicholas Bourne's talking about?
No, that will be Lord of the Flies, which is separate.
Right. So the guy
this is called Waiting for the Out, about being in a prison, a guy who works in a prison.
Okay, you didn't say it was about somebody who worked in a prison.
Sorry.
Because obviously Lord of the Flies is nothing to do with prison. It looks absolutely terrifying. I saw an ad for it, and I'm pretty sure it said from the makers of Adolescence, and all of these children just, going wild. I think that looks like one to watch as well.
I've got one more recommendation, which I haven't watched yet, but it was recommended to me by my friend Duncan, who said, and he'd smashed an entire series in almost one go, I think, David Morrissey and Amy Lou Wood, they're in a comedy show as father and daughter having to share a flat. It's called Daddy Issues. He gave it a thumbs up. I'm going to try it.
I think I gave that half an episode and then thought, I'm not sure this is for me. But, sometimes you've got to give these things a bit longer. Maybe I should. Oh, great. Well, look at that. When people are rotting on the sofa with this terrible weather, they've got lots to watch. Yeah, rot on the sofa. What else do you do?
I don't know. I guess sit would be my preference to rotting.
If you're going to smash out a whole series, you're kind of sinking in. Okay, sinking into the sofa.
Sinking into the sofa. Also picking up your phone and tip, tappy, tip, tapping and looking at all the social medias. I suddenly have a lot of disturbing content on my phone. Like the algorithms have switched a bit.
I have a theory on this. So please, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot of baby eating and lizard conspiracy content delivered at the moment. And so is my daughter on TikTok. She came up the other day and said, are they really eating babies in the Epstein situation? And I said, I don't think so. I think that they go straight to baby eating when they really want you to be upset and outraged about something. Because we've already heard about the baby eating with regards to Democrats with QAnon.
Yes.
We've already heard about baby eating way back in the Satanic Panic. We've heard about it all the time. The Hampstead hoax. And all of those old videos are now being rehashed. The Hampstead hoax kids I saw talking to camera, saying all that stuff, because we did a previous episode about that, and they're rehashing it and repackaging it. Whoever's making these outrageous videos, maybe they're bots, they're repackaging it as current, and this is what's happening now. Those kids are grown up, and it was revealed that those children were coerced into saying those things by a man who was, well, I'm not going to give him any more airtime. He's already trolled us. But there's also another one that was a woman who they said had escaped from Epstein's island, and she's screaming, they're eating people, they're killing me, blah, blah, blah. It was actually a model who was having a mental breakdown in the street, and it's very sad. But they've repackaged that and saying this is related to... You've got to be careful when you're looking at these things. Do not ever take anything you see on social media as truth. I think you should always question sources, always take things with a pinch of salt. Of course, we do endanger, missing out on something that's important, but use your head, guys. Jesus.
Yeah, but like you say, they are repackaging these things. And if you see it more than once, people think, oh, maybe there's something to it. But yes, dig a little deeper. Maybe somebody in your house is maybe looking up conspiracy theories, because I know that obviously Andreas and I, for example, are on the same Wi-Fi. He's now getting ads for Freya Organics on his phone.
Are you talking about it out loud?
Nope.
Because I don't think it comes through the internet, through the ether.
No, I think that if you are on the same IP, those things are being targeted and monitored. It's about your IP, which is obviously when you're sharing an internet with someone.
I personally don't think it's that. What I think is because you are delivered whatever is going on in the zeitgeist at the moment. You look at one Epstein-related video for 2 seconds, you get all of them unfiltered.
Could be that also.
Yeah.
Could also be that. But I'm more and more inclined to think that IPs are being monitored, not just phones and personal content. So if anyone else has an idea, happy chappy, she's hot on the CIA stuff, isn't she?
She sure is.
She's got deep links into the deep state. I would say get in touch and tell me if you think there's anything in my theory here.
Interesting. Well, talking about theories, Michelle, today we're going to do some conspiracy digging.
Oh, my God.
Because we love a conspiracy.
I had no clue. I didn't know that's what we were talking about. Yes, we do love a conspiracy.
How would you?
Unless there was a conspiracy to have me know beforehand. But no.
You don't know everything.
Conspiracy. Conspiracy. I think it's a conspiracy.
Now, I need to revisit something first before I get into the main story. It's something we've covered before, and in case you lovely eavesdroppers didn't know this because you haven't listened to every episode, Michelle thinks that the moon landings were faked, don't you, Michelle?
I don't think they're real. No, I think they were faked. Actually, speaking of past episodes, may I just send an apology to anyone who is confused by our Valentine's Day issue, which did come out slightly late. Apologies.
We got our dates wrong.
We did.
But that's all right.
Yes.
We still mean it. We still love and all the rest of it.
Of course.
But go back and listen to that riveting episode where Michelle and I talk about conspiracy theories. The episode is season 3, episode 3. It's on in January 2022, and it's called Conspiracy Theories, Flat Earth, Moon Landing Hoaxes, and more.
Can I just say...
That's a fun ride. That was a good app.
It's a good app, but for anyone who hasn't listened, I don't believe the Earth is flat. That's not me.
No one believes that except for the flat earthers.
People do, but not me. Of course, the world is round. I am just skeptical that they ever went to the moon.
Why is that, Michelle? Is it because you think that it looked flimsy? I can't remember your reasoning. Is it because the flag didn't flap in the no wind? The flag did flap.
I just don't believe that anybody at that moment in time had the technology, the materials, the tools, the know-how to get to space, through space, and back alive. There's no way.
There's no way in your little mind.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Oh, rude.
Well, we wondered, you're not a NASA scientist. How would you know? How would you know? In your mind, you can't make it work. Also, garbage gets collected, and I don't even know what happens once they do that. What happens then? There are things that go on behind closed doors.
That is true. But Russia had sent that poor dog up, Laika, into space. And
more than a dog, Michelle, which is what I'm talking about today.
Oh, okay.
But I'd love to know what you said on that episode, because, of course, it was years ago and I've forgotten what you said. I'll have to listen again.
I don't know what I said. Geordie, I don't remember what I even said last episode. That's how much this brain is in and straight out right now.
Well, I'm wondering if you mentioned in the episode Bill Kaysing, who in 1976 self-published a book, called We Never Went to the Moon, America's $30 billion swindle. Did you talk about that in the episode? Who knows?
Never even heard of that. That is absolutely thrilling to hear. What a wonderful book title.
Casing was a former US Navy officer who had a degree in English and somehow ended up working as a technical writer for Rocketdyne, which was the company building the Saturn V rocket engines. But, and this bit's important, he didn't actually know anything about rockets or space travel or even engineering.
Okay.
According to him, it was his claims of insider knowledge he wrote the book about. The odds of a successful moon landing were basically 0 to 0.0017%, and it would have been way easier for NASA to fake the whole thing than to actually do it.
Yep. Okay.
You're loving this because it's backing up your theory.
Yeah, but I mean, he self-published a book that no one's ever heard of.
Self-published. People have heard of it, just you hadn't heard of it.
No, I hadn't. But I've never investigated this. I really have formulated on very little, on scant evidence, I've formulated an opinion. I don't really think they went there.
Right, your own personal feeling.
Happy to be proved wrong, but I don't believe the evidence that is being presented.
I'm not here to do that today. I'm just going to...
Not you. The world.
Other people.
I'm happy for the world to provide, evidence. And obviously it is quite a big conspiracy theory. I'm not the only one.
Oh, I know that a lot of people feel that way and they're still questioning.
People think I'm insane.
Yes, people do think you're insane.
Oh,
yes. I've had people stop me in the street and say... What's that thing about Michelle not believing the moon landings? I have had a few people
really
saying. However, back to my story. Even with the Soviet Union watching every move, because it was full Cold War times here.
Oh, yes.
He still believes that there's no way.
Space race.
That it was happening. Exactly, the space race. But the book caught people's attention, so people had heard of it, Michelle. And suddenly the idea that the moon landings were staged was out there in the ether, out there in the public consciousness. So fast forward to 1980.
Sorry, are you saying that he put that theory out there? He was the first?
I don't know if he was the first, but he was the first to self-publish that book.
Vocalize it in...
Yes, exactly. So I think he started the kind of movement almost. Fast forward to 1980 and things got even more Hollywood. The Flat Earth Society, who we also talked about in that episode that I mentioned earlier, accused NASA, because you can trust these guys, Flat Earth I'm talking about, of staging the landings in Hollywood, and allegedly with Walt Disney funding it, Arthur C. Clarke writing the script, and Stanley Kubrick directing. I think you did talk a little bit about that in that episode.
Yes, I think that was one of the theories, yes.
Yes, and to be fair, this is the era of Capricorn 1, which was that 1977 film about a fake Mars mission. I haven't seen it, but I'd like to, starring Elliot Gould and featuring, FYI, O.J. Simpson.
What?
It was about Elliot Gould's character, who was a journalist that starts sniffing around what looks like a historic Mars landing, only to discover the whole thing had been staged. And there's like 3 really stressed out astronauts who are basically being strong-armed into playing along with the government. So it's like NASA meets Watergate style thriller from 1977. Worth a watch. Pop that in the Rex.
With O.J. Simpson, how old was he? 10?
No, he's an old guy. O.J. Simpson. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Sorry.
Who are you thinking? Bart Simpson? Who are you thinking of?
Sorry, you're talking about a 90s film about a 70s plot, not a 70s film about a 70s plot.
No, I am talking about a 77 film starring Elliot Gould and O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson's the basketballer.
O.J. Simpson is the football player who then went on to allegedly murder his partner.
Yes, same O.J. Simpson.
In the 90s, who's now dead.
Is he dead?
Yes, he's died. Fuck me.
When did O.J. Simpson die?
We're not going to get through this episode at all.
So what? He was on IMDb?
He died in 2024 of prostate cancer, and he was 76. So yes, he's very capable of being in a film.
Oh.
I don't know what's happening in your mind, Michelle. Time seems to have frozen.
He was born in 1947, died April 24. I thought he was a bit younger than that.
You're wrong.
My mistake. Apologies.
Apologies.
Apologies from me, apologies to you.
Why do I always sound so Australian?
With almost 500,000 customers and over $1 trillion of secure payments, Bill isn't new to intelligent finance. It's the proven way to simplify bill pay and maximize cash flow. Want to learn more? Visit bill.com/proven for a special offer.
We need to keep kids safe online, but some special interests are sending policymakers in the wrong direction, pushing the so-called App Store Accountability Act, demanding government ID from all users just to download an app, replacing parents' judgment with government mandates. It doesn't even stand up in court. A better bipartisan bill, the Parents Over Platforms Act, would put parents in the driver's seat, empowering parents and businesses to keep kids safe without drowning all of us in red tape. Tell Congress to get it done right and put parents over platforms.
Paid for by ACT, the App Association.
Folklorist Linda Degg, and I don't know how you pronounce this name, D-E-G-H, Degg, I think, says, films like that really poured petrol on the fire about the moon landings. This is post-Vietnam, post-Watergate America, trust in authorities in the bin. People are primed to believe there's something dodgy going on. And this Linda Degg basically says that the media creates a weird twilight zone where half-truths start sounding like facts, especially if no one's telling you how to reality check them, a little bit like these conspiracy theories I mentioned before that are currently on all the socials.
This is also a little bit like, I can't remember what it's called. You did an episode on it where people misremember.
The Mandela effect.
Mandela effect, that's it.
There are people on social media saying that the Mandela effect is real and that we're living in multiple strands of different timelines. It's really gone la-la, lula-lula-la.
Yeah, it's a bit loopy-loops. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're just doing it for likes or if they really believe this, but I'm seeing a lot of disturbing things on the social medias right now.
No, why are you... I'm not getting served that at all. I'm getting more dancing videos and...
Well, because I've probably looked at one thing for too long. Yeah, I'm going to go back to trying to find the comedy and the doggies and the talking crows.
I've got a good one for you about a nail technician.
Oh.
I'll pop that on the Patreon. It's an American comedian. She reenacts her experience at the nail salon.
Oh.
It never gets old. I think everyone's had that experience.
Okay. I've just found out some information that I forgot to mention earlier. Because you asked me, did Bill Kaysing, in his self-published book, did he start this? Well, apparently these conspiracy theories about the moon didn't just pop up after the fact. They were already circulating during Apollo 8 back in 1968 while astronauts were actually literally orbiting the moon.
Right, okay.
So why fake it, Michelle? They can get up there. They are doing it. Why are they faking walking on the moon? According to conspiracy theorists, it's all about the Cold War because the space race wasn't just science. It was a massive game of one-upmanship for whoever got there first. International bragging rights. Mm-hmm. JFK himself said the US chose to go to the moon not because it is easy, but because it is hard. So conspiracy theorists might hear him say that and think, exactly, it's too hard. It didn't happen.
Yep. All right.
But I want to give you a factual rundown of moonwalks. I'm not even anywhere near my story, by the way. Total moonwalkers, 12. All American, walked on the moon. We've got the last mission was Apollo 17 in December 1972. That was the final crewed mission with Gene Cernan as the last person to walk on the surface of the moon. Post-Apollo missions, there have been no humans returned to the moon since 1972, though lots of robotic, uncrewed landings have occurred. And there's an upcoming mission, Artemis program apparently, from NASA, which aims to return humans to the moon at some point in the future. I'm telling you this, like I said, as a precursor to the main event story today, which is another space conspiracy theory. So this one's about how two Italian radio enthusiasts sparked yet another space conspiracy theory.
I don't think I've heard this at all.
I wondered if you had. Well, we're going back to the 60s.
Oh.
There's that tongue again.
Oh, my God. So really quite far back.
Winding back to the 60s, yes.
Yes.
Right back to the beginning of the space race. The race to space, in fact, aka space race, which is, in essence, as I said, it's just Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union to dominate spaceflight technology. And the space race led to massive breakthroughs, including the first artificial satellites, robotic missions to the moon, Venus, Mars, and, of course, human spaceflight in orbit and on the moon.
Okay.
So this came right after World War II.
Yep.
And its nuclear arms race, which we know about, Hiroshima. It was driven by concerns over national security, missile capability, and satellite surveillance, all edge of seat stuff for the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Yes.
Which we spoke about at the beginning of this year. But in addition to that, it was really military power and space achievements that became strong symbols of cultural superiority. So we're going back to all those, important bragging rights here. Flex, power, being the big bosses of the world. It was just the most important thing as a proper race, not only in space, but on the ground as well. Both global superpowers are competing to launch satellites and humans into orbit. Governments are broadcasting all their achievements with pomp and great fanfare. But what if, Michelle, some of these missions ended in disaster, but were never acknowledged? You keep talking about the little doggy, but there's more to it than that.
While you were speaking, I was wondering, obviously I'm thinking about this whole thing from my own perspective. What do the Russians think? Do the Russians think the Americans faked it? From their perspective, knowing all the tech that they had, doggy didn't make it. I wonder. And if you know, do write in.
Well, why don't you pin that? Pin that. I don't think you know an awful lot about what they actually have done, though, because you think there's just a dog. There's much more, I'm going to tell you.
No. There's much more. But Leica always stuck with me because I was very
worried and upset
by the fact.
Well, okay, I'm going to give you a trigger warning then.
Even put a line in a song that we wrote about poor old Leica didn't make it.
I'm going to give you a trigger warning right here, right now, for you and all the other people worried about not just dogs and other animals, but also people, because this might be a bit of a rough ride. Trigger warning. Warning. Trigger warning. Look out! Trigger.
Oh my goodness!
Warning.
Chips.
Brace yourself, Mavis. It's the lost cosmonauts conspiracy theory, or legend, we're going to call it, and the spooky recordings made by Achille and Giovanni Battista Giudica Cordelia, which is really hard to say, so I'm going to call them Battista Bros from now on, because they're mentioned a lot. They're two Italian amateur radio operators. Obviously Italian. I've said that. Achille, born 1933, he died in 2015, and his younger brother Giovanni Battista, born 1939, died 2024. They were based near Turin in Italy. In the late 50s, they found a disused German bunker, turned it into a makeshift listening station because they were ham radio fans. They cobbled together bits of antennas and receivers and recording gear from scavenged parts. Their goal was to pick up signals from satellites and spacecraft as the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union heated up. They were just as excited by this as the rest of the world were at the time. It was a big, proper news.
I am loving this. I am loving that two brothers just found this. I've never heard this story before. This is incredible.
I know.
I have no clue where this is going.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. Hold on to your hats. In those early days of space exploration, radio transmissions from orbit were precious. They carried vital scientific data and even, at times, human voice communications.
Okay.
So these guys were hoping to latch onto a few of those things. And on these unregulated, unseen channels, the brothers claimed to have intercepted something extraordinary.
I find this fascinating. Can you imagine how excited they must have been to be able to hook into these conversations? If you think it's real. I'm guessing that there might be a twist in the tale here.
Were they a little too excited? Throughout the early 60s, these brothers released a series of 9 audio recordings, which they claimed were all legit radio communications from secret, failed Soviet space missions. These were transmissions that were never disclosed by Soviet officials.
Question. Were these recordings in Russian?
Well, yeah, I would say they were probably in Russian. And the list runs from May 1960, when they heard a spacecraft reporting that it had veered off course. Then there was 28th of November 1960, the Battista Bros heard a faint SOS Morse code signal repeating over and over. It was seemingly from a craft drifting away from Earth forever. Shocking.
Weird.
It's horrifying, though.
Yeah.
February 1961, and here's a trigger warning. The brothers heard sounds allegedly interpreted as a human suffocating to death on board an orbiting capsule.
No.
It gets worse, Michelle.
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
April 1961, a capsule appears to orbit Earth 3 times before re-entry. And this is just days before Yuri Gagarin's first human spaceflight in 61. May 1961, the brothers said they heard weak calls for help from another orbiting craft. October 61, a spacecraft veers off again into deep space. Bye. Off he goes, never to be seen again. I mean, how horrifying. November 1962, a capsule misjudges re-entry and is flung back into orbit.
Right. This is all sounding awful.
So yes, it is hard, but they had to make a lot of mistakes by the sound of it. May 1963, another trigger. A female cosmonaut apparently died on re-entry, which is perhaps the most chilling of all the recordings. Pin that. And April 1964... this is also another trigger. A lost cosmonaut's capsule burns up on re-entry. Now, if all these claims are genuine, Michelle, these tapes would suggest the Soviet Union sent humans into space before the officially acknowledged missions, only to have them die without any public record.
What do you think of that? Do you think it's possible?
Anything's possible. But among all the recordings, the one that stands out the most in public imagination and pop culture, the most, is the distress call from the female apparently burning up on re-entry. There are transcripts attributed to this 1963 recording that reportedly include phrases, and I'm assuming it's been translated from Russian. In English, "I am hot, I can see a flame," making it one of the most frightening audio clips associated with the lost cosmonaut lore.
So I wonder if there is any trace anywhere of this woman, and could she be actually a real person? Is this all just...
Well, this is what we're saying. It's been buried, but the tape has been shared widely on the internet, and I won't be searching for that. Too grim. If you're a bit more strong-stomached, perhaps you could, but not for me. And because no official Soviet records verify a female astronaut flying and dying before Valentina Tereshkova, who was the first woman in space in 1963, and you'll be glad to know she's still alive at the time of recording, 88 years old, the recording remains shrouded in mystery and doubt.
Well, that was kind of what I alluded to just a second ago. Obviously, there is no record of this. I was just hoping that
That's right.
In these times of transparency and redacted files being made public and whatnot, maybe there was something, but...
There is something, and I'll tell you in a moment. But almost as soon as these tapes entered the public domain, critics and experts raised serious doubts about their authenticity, noting that none of the voices on the recordings follow standard aviation or space communication protocols. For example, cosmonauts are expected to identify themselves and use precise terminology, but none did in these transcripts and recordings. Some voices include grammatical errors and accents that don't sound authentically Russian. And given the sophistication of Soviet space communications, it's unlikely that such transmissions would have been broadcast on unsecured channels without being encrypted. They were in a space race. It was tightly held. It's very unlikely. They'd been through World War II. They knew how to encrypt, how to code. There is no way they would have just been footloose and fancies free, just yapping away on open air for these Batista brothers to catch up.
Okay, but maybe there was something in this disused bunker that allowed them to really click into something. I don't know.
A core belief maybe that they could, maybe excitement, maybe enthusiasm. I don't know.
No, I meant some kind of technology that was left over that they found in this bunker.
It was all DIY in a bunker.
I don't know. Who knows?
Space, space, baby. Space, space, baby. Space, space, baby. Space, space, baby. Space!
When it comes to managing money, forget the hype and look at the results. Bill has $1 trillion of secure payments powering our bill pay tools. Instead of just moving money, Bill is powering the financial operations of nearly 500,000 customers. So stop the guesswork and start scaling with the proven choice. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started. And grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.
Following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, thousands of formerly classified documents from the former USSR were released. but none have substantiated these lost crewed missions. According to space historian James Oberg, and I feel like we've talked about him before, he has extensively researched this story, and there's no credible evidence the lost cosmonauts ever existed beyond speculation and the Judica Cordelia tapes, or Judica Cordelia tapes. So, if this evidence is sketchy at best, why has the lost cosmonauts theory endured for over 60 years? The Soviet Union did have a culture of secrecy. Failures were often buried or underreported.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You didn't even imagine that?
What, that failures were underreported or buried?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know it, but of course. I mean, America does it too.
Well, you wouldn't know.
Everyone does it.
You wouldn't know. If they're burying it, how would you know?
No, but if they're burying it and those things have come to light, yes, okay. But obviously they're burying it for a reason. So no, I didn't know any of this.
I'll tell you one that they did bury. There had been several tragic accidents during the whole, experimental training and whatnot to get them out there to the moon. Because yes, it was hard. I'll keep saying it. It was hard, but it wasn't impossible because they did achieve it, but only after a lot of sacrifice. For example, the death of cosmonaut Valentin Bondarenko, who died in a training accident in 1961 after suffering burns during a 15-day low-pressure endurance experiment in Moscow.
Jesus.
I know.
Fucking terrible.
But the Soviet government didn't just report it and move on. They basically concealed it, both the death and the fact that he'd ever been selected as a cosmonaut. His existence in the space program was just erased. But the truth came out in 1980.
Right.
So now, in memoriam for him, and apology, I suppose, there's now a crater on the far side of the moon named after him.
Oh, bless. Okay.
Thanks.
Great. I'd want a little more than that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you would. His family would want a lot more, I'd say. But what makes the idea of suppressed spaceflight deaths plausible, even if the specific Batista Bros claims lack evidence? I know they're not called the Batista Bros, but I just can't face saying that name over and over again. People are still interested in the lost cosmonaut story and the mysterious recordings, and it appears in books, online investigations, and TV, such as my favourite source of information, the Fortean Times, who covered the story in a 2008 article.
Amazing.
There was an episode of Dark Matters, Twisted But True, from 2011, which featured the Lost Cosmonaut tapes and the brothers. In 2020, Vice Extremes podcast produced an episode titled Mystery of the Lost Cosmonauts, and that featured interviews with Giovanni Battista. And fictionally, if anyone's been watching the Apple TV series called Constellation that came out in 2024, that uses the idea of a lost female cosmonaut as a key plot element, introducing the eerie recordings to a new audience.
Right. Never heard of that, but it sounds interesting.
This story isn't just about conspiracy, though, Michelle. It reveals deeper truths about the power of radio in popular culture. And I would say that the internet and social media have replaced radio. But if you think about it, it was back before the technology revolution, it was a global information sharing platform. Anyone with enough curiosity could listen in, and the brothers harnessed that as a pair of sort of early influences, if you like.
Yes.
Maybe even bots. Not saying they're bots, but pushing this narrative from their position.
Yes.
It also taps into something that we raise a lot on the podcast, which is why conspiracy theories spread. Well, you've got this wonderful magic recipe of uncertainty plus secrecy plus emotional storytelling, hence what I was saying before about the Epstein files and the babies. And that equals theories that persist without solid proof. People who just take it and run and share it willy-nilly without caring or thinking of the repercussions, I suppose.
Yes. Well, there's something in them that makes them believe. If they're doing it really from a place of truth and wanting to spread their truth, whether it's true or not, I don't think people are maliciously trying to fuck people up, but you never know. I never know anyone's motives.
Oh, I think there are people out there who are maliciously sending messages in order to divide and conquer, I think.
Yes, I agree, but
that's my theory.
I'm not sure that these two brothers were doing that.
No, I don't think they were. I don't know what
No.
their reasoning was. I haven't watched any videos with them in, and I'd love to. I should do that. But even if verified space programs have unpublicized failures, that doesn't mean all claims are true. And whether you view the lost cosmonauts as an eerie hidden truth or a space-age urban legend, the Giudice Cordelia brothers' story is a rich one with Cold War secrecy and a curiosity and fascination with the unknown. And it reminds us of stories that can become legends when they spark deeper fears and questions. Of course, we don't know what's out there beyond in the space race. You can only imagine. How can they get a man on the moon? How can he walk? That doesn't make any sense in your mind, but you don't know. And I guess we're being shown something and we can't quite believe it. Existentially, it's probably a little bit too much.
Yes. A really, really interesting story. I had never even thought about the failures and any kind of cover-up, if that actually happened.
If what happened?
In the context...
Oh, if the cosmonaut tapes.
If those tapes
happened.
really happened. Obviously, it has been proven that the Russians were covering stuff up. Probably the Americans too.
Oh, yeah.
But we just don't know yet what those cover-ups were.
No.
I mean, I feel like the public does have a right to know these things and the truth behind it all, but who are we?
Yeah.
Who are we? We're just the public. We're never going to potentially get to the bottom of any of it. But super interesting story, and I'd never heard of those two bros. So thank you.
Thank you to the bros. And I wonder if maybe they did hear some shit on the airwaves.
Oh, I think they did.
And I think they did too. It's not baseless. I think they did hear stuff, but I don't know if maybe some of the more shocking things would be true. You can listen. They are out there. Google it.
Yeah.
If you're interested.
I'm not sure I want to. I don't think I want to hear people dying. It's not my jam. I think they heard stuff, but what they think they heard and what they actually heard
Could have been two different things. Exactly.
Who knows? Wow, really fascinating. And I'll pop all those links on the Patreon.
Yes, do.
And if you're not a Patreon member, why the bloody hell not?
Why the bloody hell not? Because you've got all those TV recommendations, plus a ton more from this particular story. All the links that we refer to in our stories are where we get our information from, and a little extra something every month where Michelle and I might pop on another little episode for you out there. What else do we do? Oh, I've got something coming up for you on the Patreon. I did a little history walk in Suffolk at the weekend with Mr. Nicholas Bourne, who I mentioned earlier. He is a font of knowledge, I would say, especially local Suffolk knowledge. Some interesting things to talk about and look at, and I did a little film of him giving us a guided history tour, basically.
Oh, great. Oh, I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah. Weren't we going to put some music on there as well, Michelle?
Yes, we are. It's all over on the Patreon.
It's just a little fun thing to do, because if your ass isn't already, what did you call it earlier? Rotting away into the foam of your sofa.
On the sofa, rotting.
Melding together, then
those two
we're going to
cheeks.
give you more things to keep your ass firmly
on the sofa.
Glued to your sofa. Ugh.
That sounds disgusting.
That's horrific.
Oh, gosh. Well, once again, thank you. And
my pleasure.
There's a lot to think about, a lot for people to dig into.
Yeah.
And with that, there's only 3 things left to say.
Well, okay then. Wherever you are,
whatever you do,
just
keep
eavesdropping.
Eavesdroppin.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping.
Dropping. Dropping.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping all day long. Eavesdropping. This is the song. Drop it like it's hot.
With almost 500,000 customers and over $1 trillion of secure payments, Bill isn't new to intelligent finance. It's the proven way to simplify bill pay and maximize cash flow. Want to learn more? Visit Bill.com/proven for a special offer.
We need to keep kids safe online, but some special interests are sending policymakers in the wrong direction, pushing the so-called App Store Accountability Act, demanding government ID from all users just to download an app, replacing parents' judgment with government mandates. It doesn't even stand up in court. A better bipartisan bill, the Parents Over Platforms Act, would put parents in the driver's seat. empowering parents and businesses to keep kids safe without drowning all of us in red tape. Tell Congress to get it done right and put parents over platforms.
Paid for by ACT, the App Association.